Welcome to another video of me trying to repair stuff. Today I have two Makita drills, one DDF 486 and one DHP 486, and what I'm trying to attempt is to make out of two broken ones one good one, because from what I was reading, this one has the same electronic as this one. And let me show the faults. The DDF 486 seems to have a broken power trigger, so this is sounding pretty okay. And now sometimes it's not turning. Could also be the position sensor. I hope it's not being the main PCB broken. And the other one, I will show you real quick. Turn the light on, but it's not turning, so I'm assuming it's a MOSFET shorted out. So first of all, start with this one. Let's open it up. I already can feel this PCB is pretty hot, and it was not running a lot, so I'm assuming we have a shorted out MOSFET in here. Let's have a look. And what I want to do is I want to measure these coils. An easy way to find out if we have a shorted MOSFET is to measure the resistance between plus and minus of the drill and the coils. So let's go on the first coil. Yeah, short to ground. So here we definitely have a broken MOSFET inside. See the other one, the same, and the third one, the same. Let's see the plus side. And there we don't have a short. Doesn't seem like it. Yeah, it seems like we have shorted out the MOSFETs of the positive sides. So this controller will need a very intensive repair. I probably will do somehow in the future, because these PCBs are all glued together with an resin. I will show you in the future. So what I'm trying to do, because I want to have this one, because of the hammering function, repaired for now, I'm gonna try to take out of this one the electronics, just not the trigger ring pin, in the hope that it's not the PCB. And then I will put it into this drill. So let me open up the other drill. So first of all, let's do the same measurement on this one. I'm on the negative side. .48 kilo ohms. This is very good. $140, 115. Let's go to the positive side. Oh, this is not looking promising. $180, 180, and 180. So it seems like we have a problem on the positive side of this one. So I have no big choice but to repair both of these. Okay, let's start with the first power drill. First I'm gonna show you with my new power supply also what's the power consumption on this one, so that you get a brief idea how much current is being wrong. So I hooked up the plus to both of these pins. It's like the unlock pin of the tool and the main power, and then the ground to the ground. And I hooked up my bench power supply, and I will turn it on right now. And as you see, we have a power drop of 0.4 watts, which is already not ideal. So this means the tool is consuming energy without being activated. So on a tool which is non-broken, you should have a steady 0 there, and only the power consumption should start when you hit the trigger. Now you see it's ramping up, and now if I'm trying to use the motor, we'll see that there are MOSFETs short because we will get very high current peaks. And it's not even starting to move. This is not supposed to be. It's supposed to start very smoothly and to consume less than 1 amp. Okay, that's this part done. So we have to open up the PCB, the actual controller board, which is right down here. I will show you how to do it. First of all, we're taking out the controller board out of the power drill so that we can put the rest aside, being all the electrics outside. And if you would buy in the internet, you would buy without the switch. So you would buy basically this with this, and then this is not there and this not, but the whole unit is costing I think around 80 euros. So it's a little too much out of my view for repairing this. These are pretty hard to get out, and the MOSFETs, from what I'm assuming, are on the other side of the PCB. So on this big side, I think there's like a little part of aluminium down there to distribute the heat, and underneath the MOSFETs will be. So we have to pry out the whole PCB. So what I will do now, I will hook up the bench power supply, and hopefully we can see where it's getting hot. As you can see, we have a power consumption of almost 30 watts. I will turn on the power, and we can see this one is lighting up. I will turn off. So this one here seems to be the faulty one. This one is lighting up. Everything else seems to be very cold. So let's real quick desolder this one, and then see if our short is gone. So you can see we still have a short. So at this part of the video I was realizing that the fault was not so simple to find, and actually I started to take off the MOSFETs one by one and was measuring in between with the thermal camera and see if the short was gone or if the board still was getting warm. And as I was continuing taking off the MOSFETs, I found the one MOSFET on the upper left side, you can see, which was really a lot of damaged and was burned into the solder mask and was removing the solder mask a little. So we really had a severe short here. And what I'm assuming is that this short was causing also the other MOSFETs to fail, because the different phases are getting connected to each other in order to make the motor turn. So, and at one time all of the MOSFETs are connected to each other, and if one is shorting out and the controller is not shutting off the power fast enough, then you get damage like this. So what I was doing, I was starting to remove all of the MOSFETs, cleaning up the pads with some leaded solder and the soldering iron, and then I was repairing the soldering mask. As you can see, with the solder joints all pretty much set up for soldering, only this one not. Here we have to repair some of the conformal coating because the MOSFET was destroying it. So this and this one is bridged, so it's not a big problem, but this one is the from the gate, the signal and we have to isolate on the corner here with a thin layer of conformal coating. Like this. And adding the conformal coating. Now I will dry it under the UV light for a little while. So I will come in with the soldering iron and some flux. So let's assemble all our MOSFETs again. Now we'll give it some flux. And then I will carefully reflow all the chips. Okay, that's it. I will let the board cool down and then we will come back and have a check. Okay, that's a little recap where I stopped. I changed all the MOSFETs on the PCB, but I have still the problem that I have a high or low resistance between the coils. Seems to be shorted. So I'm pressing the power button right now. So it seems like this whole group here is getting hot, and also this one. And as I might remember, this one is the one what I remember where we did the repair underneath. So first of all, I will take this one off and see if these are still getting hot, because it could be that this one is shorting out these, because this one, so it's always in parallel. This one and this one are in parallel, this and this too. This and this is in parallel, this and this is in parallel, and these are in parallel, and these are. And from these, only the upper one is getting hot. So I'm assuming these are supposed to be turned on, but they're getting shorted maybe by this one. So I will take this one off, and then we will see if our problem is disappearing. And let's see if we have a short. Put the multimeter into continuity mode. You hear it beep, we have a short. So between these two, nothing. This is like the gate. The gate shouldn't be shorted to anything. So between these pads, nothing. And the gate is shorted. Okay, this is not good. So this MOSFET is destroyed. So what you can see in this sequence, I was changing the MOSFET or taking it off and was testing, seeing there are more shorts, and I was continue taking as many MOSFETs off until the short was gone, and then I was reassembling all the MOSFETs. And in the end, what I found out in the beginning, before the sequence you saw, I was measuring the MOSFET and I had like a short between the gate and the drain of the MOSFET. So what I'm assuming what happened is I got like the 20 volt current in there, also on the gate, and the gate is controlled by a driver, which from what I know is included inside of the chip which is controlling the whole PCB. And if this one is shorted out, you have to replace the microcontroller controlling everything. So basically you have to replace the board. I was not getting to this conclusion at this point, so that's why you can see me assembling, disassembling all the MOSFETs and doing it again and again and again, and in the end, as you will see very soon, I realized this is not fixable, sadly. So thanks for watching the video, and sadly this one is not fixable. I hope the next PCB we will repair will be fixable. And if you enjoyed the video, hit the like button, and if you leave a subscribe, it would mean a lot for me. See you on the next video. Thanks.